scrappy people, it's Tracy Reed here today, and I'm coming at you with the last video in my Journey Home album series. And I'm so excited to be done with this album, you don't even know. You know, when you get to the end of a project, you're just kind of done, right? You're like, okay, I'm done, let's move on. And so that's kind of where I was filming this video, but I still really love the way that it came out, and so I'm super excited that it is over. Yay! So I'm using my So Happy Together collection for simple stories for both of these layouts mostly. And I've created a little title card down there. This is Patrick's family. We couldn't go home without seeing Patrick's dad and his brother and sister and his new baby niece. So I have a big old picture of them, and then Patrick and his brother and his dad. And so I'm just kind of building a set of clusters around these photos. They don't need too much. I moved this card up because I had two titles going on, one at the bottom of the photo and one on the card, so I needed to separate them. So I created that card, that family card, with the 12 by 12 sticker sheet, and I'm kind of pulling in some chipboard and some die cuts just all over to tie all of the cards and pockets together and just make it feel cohesive. But I'm not really adding too much journaling, and I'm not really going hog wild. Like I said, I was done. I mean, it is what it is. I was just done, and I didn't need to get too clever with these last couple pages. So I've kind of built all my clusters, and I'm going to start gluing everything down. And nifty trick here, I take up this together and I put glue on just the end and then put it over those two die cuts so that I can stick it to the die cuts and stick it all back down exactly where I wanted it to be without having to pull it all apart individually and put it back down piece by piece. Lazy scrapbooking for the win. Add in those couple hearts, and look at that, that side's already almost done. Gonna add in this half doily that I have from another previous project. Wanted to use up some of my scraps. And then some hearts again to pull in the hearts from the other side, and just because I always like heart confetti, star confetti, it's fun. Adding the ampersand to that bottom photo, but I felt like I needed some word strips or something just to bulk up that corner a little bit, so I'm looking at the 12 by 12 stickers, trying to find ones that are appropriate for these photos. And I grab a couple, and I should have put them down before I put down the ampersand, but I didn't want to put them down too far to the right and not be able to put the ampersand down, so they didn't get tucked underneath the ampersand like I would have wanted, but it works. I need to pick out a background for this photo because that black and white stripe really didn't work for me. And I'm trying to, like, I don't want it to be pink because I got enough pink going on. And I initially was like, oh, I like this black and white polka dot, but I didn't like it next to that newsprint card. It was too much. So I'm going to go with a wood grain instead. And I'm just adding adhesive to the original side, and I'm just going to put it right on top. And then I'll trim it down afterwards because, again, I'm lazy and I didn't feel like measuring to see what size it was or anything like that. So I'm just going to trim it down the lazy way. And then that creates a nice background for that photo to sit on top of. Pulls in some of the warm tones from the photos are sort of poorly lit because it was getting dark and we were outside underneath ugly like street lights. So I'm kind of playing off the warm tones that created instead of fighting against it. So yeah, this is done. I'm gonna try and add a couple of things, but I don't. So the very last thing for this album is photos of us going home. So I'm gonna put, what am I doing here? I don't even know. Oh, okay. I was contemplating adding a place for journaling, underneath this photo and like creating a flip up, but I decided I didn't have anything to say. Like, I'm going to instead add a little, yeah, a little label underneath that together and make a comment about cute baby Charlotte and then call it good. Man, I was just tapped out, you know? Just so happy that it's done and it came together so cute. I recorded a flip through that will go up on Monday the 1st. Is it the 1st? No, Monday the 2nd. So you can see it all together and how fun and interactive it is. But yeah, at this point I was just ready to be done. Okay, so the last photos I have are of our adventure home. We chose an overnight flight, which is always a mistake, but you know, we wanted to maximize the amount of time that we were in California. Plus, it's always cheaper when you fly overnight, and I am a cheapskate. So we had an overnight flight. And then we had to go from Sacramento to Charlotte, which, if you know geography, Charlotte is past Knoxville, even more east. So then we had to fly from Charlotte back to Knoxville, which is always silly to me, but that's what it was. Charlotte to Knoxville is like a 45-minute flight, and we ended up getting to Knoxville, and they turned our flight around because of clouds. They couldn't see the ground, and so it was just an ordeal. So we went back to Charlotte, sat on the runway for an hour, then went back again. And of course, we were totally exhausted after an overnight flight. It was absolutely ridiculous. So that photo down there at the bottom is our ridiculousness. So I had this tag and I had to figure out how I was going to attach it. But the first thing I'm going to do is decorate these photos. And I really like this Ready, Set, Go. I wanted it to say Ready, Set, Go home, but I couldn't, like, I initially started pulling out some home phrases from the So Happy Together collection, but I didn't like it. It didn't work out well. So instead I just said welcome home on this photo with this die cut. So it doesn't say Ready, Set, Go home, but it says Ready, Set, Go and then welcome home. So that works for me. I'm gonna add in a couple more hearts just because. I like the contrast of welcome home with my pouty face and Patrick like not even looking at the camera, just being totally exhausted. I like the difference in view there. So then I decided I wanted this home sweet home, or home, that's what it says. It says home is where the heart is tag as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to punch a hole right in the page protector and I am going to layer it over the top. So what it's going to do is it's going to make it so that you can move the tags around so that you can A, see the rest of the picture, and B, move the home sweet home tag, or I keep saying that, but it's home is where the heart is tag so you can see the journaling. I wanted to have that home is where the heart is tag to cover up some of the journaling just because I'm never a fan of big old giant blocks of text. So I thought that it added some nice visual contrast. And I don't actually care that this is a little bit of a ragged hole because you won't even see it. So I'm going to take some twine, baker's twine, and I'm going to tie the tags right onto the page protector. And then call it good. This is just about done. Yep. So if you enjoyed this video and this series, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. And if you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Traci M. Reed, and the flip through is coming on Monday. All right, thank you.